A refreshed Anthony Davis flips the script for the Lakers. LeBron James' son commits to USC. And the San Diego Padres troll Clayton Kershaw because they're classy. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is May 7th, 2023. It is Sunday, the Lord's Day. Take a moment. Thank God for the blessings that you have in your life. And if you enjoy being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comments. Except for the Galaxy game and maybe LAFC, yesterday was a glorious day. So before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Lakers 127, Golden State 97. Anthony Davis scores 25 points, grabs 13 rebounds, both of them team highs. The Lakers lead the best-of-7 series 2-1. Game 4 will be played Monday in LA, but we will talk more about all of that in just a moment. Dodgers 2, San Diego 1. Chris Taylor hits a 2-run homer for LA, which will leave America's finest septic tank in first place, regardless of what happens tonight. Colorado 3, Galaxy 1. Preston Judd scored, but the Galaxy continued their hot pursuit of a second wooden spoon under the disastrous leadership of Chris Klein. There's a rapid recap of the match on the Galaxy playlist. San Jose 2, LAFC 1. Dennis Bouanga scored his 14th goal of the calendar year. 14! But LAFC falls for the first time this year as well. Meanwhile, today, the Dodgers are at San Diego at 4 o'clock. That's the ESPN game. Julio Urias is 4-3 with a 3.86 ERA. He's going to face off against Joe Musgrove, who is 1-0 with a 10.80 ERA. Can two seemingly opposite things, be correct at once? That is the question that I have after Game 3. Because you could say that this was returning the favor, one ass kicking for another. You could. It was the fewest points Golden State had scored in the postseason. The Lakers are undefeated in the postseason when D'Angelo Russell scores more than 16 points. So LA in the first quarter seemed to make a point of getting him involved right off the bat. And all of that is cool. But what is interesting to me, outside of the stats, outside of the numbers, was it the Lakers' defense, or did Golden State, the defending NBA champs, blow their cool? Or was it both? See, Golden State told the press after the game that it lost composure in the second quarter, which is how any team on the losing end would describe it. Fair. But Lakers coach Darvin Ham, on the other hand, said defensive communication picked up in the second quarter. So is it possible both are correct? The Warriors, for example, committed 9 turnovers in the second quarter. 9. Golden State was outscored by the Lakers 17-4 off of turnovers in the first half. Even more important, LA held the Warriors to under 40% shooting from the field, less than 30% shooting from beyond the three-point line. But about Golden State's composure, we mentioned the turnovers a few seconds ago. Add to that, technical fouls in the second quarter from Draymond Green, JaMychal Green. Marcus Moody was called for a flagrant foul on Davis. So the result is that the victory is so pronounced that LA could afford to rest both Davis and LeBron James in the fourth quarter, for most of it anyway. So now people are going to like to talk about who the pressure is on, who has the pressure. I would argue it's Golden State, because the Warriors have been terrible on the road all year long. LA is undefeated in the postseason at home, and going down 3-1 would be an absolute disaster for the Warriors. Because this is this series is proving to be just as much about the Warriors didn't do as much as the Lakers did do. Two things being true at once. So let me give you one more stat in analysis of last night's game before we move on. Recall the blowout in game 2. Golden State scored 84 points combined in the second and the third quarters. Last night's game, game 3, they scored less than half that. Second and third quarters combined, Golden State combines for 38 points. Now, it would be one thing to say that Bronny James going to USC is a big thing because he's the son of LeBron. That's not enough. Bronny James can actually play. He was the highest uncommitted player in the nation, number 19th by ESPN, number 26th overall by 24/7 Sports. And as such, he has a legitimate shot to play in the NBA, even without the pedigree. As a result of him deciding to commit to play for USC, the Trojans now have the top recruiting class in 2023 for the Pac-12 and 8th overall in the nation. Now, if you recall, Coach Andy Enfield had already signed guard Isaiah Collier of Georgia, who was the number 1 ranked player in the nation. James chose to stay near home as opposed to going to Oregon or Ohio State. To be honest, his high school career had yo-yoed a little in terms of where does he rank in high school recruits. He was 33rd, he fell to 50th. To be honest, I can't tell you why. I don't watch high school basketball. Like when I haven't watched high school basketball pretty much since I was in high school. But he has since rebounded. And it should be known, this does impact the Lakers' future. It does. Say Bronny James goes in with Collier, they both dominate. James goes one and done with USC. Recall that his father, LeBron, has a goal to play on the same team alongside his son. LeBron James's contract runs through 2024. Now, you might think the Lakers have a shot at Bronny James if he's somewhere in the mid-20s as a recruit. You can see that. But ESPN has an NBA draft guy who says he would not be surprised to see Bronny James eventually in the top 10 in the NBA draft, maybe as soon as 2024. Jonathan Givony says Bronny James is the top perimeter defender in that draft. And the young man hasn't played a single minute of college ball yet. NBA scouts told The Athletic that they like Bronny James because teammates like playing alongside him, that James sees the floor well, that he has not buckled under the pressure of being you-know-who's kid. A third scout said Bronny James is not elite, but a, quote, good high major prospect, unquote. And let's not for a moment forget what this get means for USC. The Trojans have a legitimate argument for the best backcourt in the country. James, Collier, the returning Boogie Ellis, who led the team with 17.7 points per game. Moreover, unlike Bronny James's father, the offense doesn't have to run through him in order to succeed. Bronny James is described as somebody who thrives off the ball. And by the way, there's no assurance Enfield goes with a 3-guard lineup. Oh, he could. Absolutely he could. But Kobe Johnson is a 6'6" wing who was terrific for the Trojans. Enfield loves him, but he's only 6'6". If you have a 3-guard lineup, then either Johnson becomes a mismatched power forward, or the other option is that James comes off the bench. Never been much of a Will Ferrell guy. You know, okay, we're both LA Kings fans. Great. But I just don't laugh over the same bit over and over again. A middle-aged guy in every movie running wind sprints in his tidy whities. It's not funny to me. It's whack. I mean, but I remember the thing about Will Ferrell the most is that phrase that he had in Anchorman about San Diego being classy. San Diego has always been the opposite of classy. If it were a legitimate sports town, more people would know that. But nobody thinks about San Diego, so they're not thought about. So you let that line about the Padres or San Diego being classy just slide. Now understand, I'm not trying to tell you that I'm classy. I know I'm not classy. I just say that we're the greatest sports city in the world. And by the way, I have the proof. I can back that up. Anyway, the Padres beat the Dodgers on Friday, and they post a clip on their scoreboard so slimy, so dumb, that I had to triple check to make sure that it wasn't an internet fake. It was a photo of Clayton Kershaw on the big board with computerized tears coming down his cheeks. So this is what I would like everybody in San Diego to know. Clayton Kershaw is a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, an MVP, 9-time All-Star, world champion. The guy has more than 2,800 strikeouts, more than 200 wins. In the off-season even, he doesn't just sit there in a mansion at the side of a fireplace drinking Chablis. No. In the offseason, Clayton Kershaw goes to third world countries and he helps build villages. He mentors young children, teaching them how to read. One of your best players, by the way, Fernando Tatis, was suspended 80 games for performance-enhancing drugs. Hall of Famer and altruistic, shoots himself up with PEDs. Compare and contrast, guys. Compare and contrast. Now, I don't know what to tell you if that doesn't describe the profound difference, not just in terms of championship pedigree, but in terms of the people that you signed. Then compare the guy you love, Fernando Tatis, to Clayton Kershaw. Other than that, it's true that I care that the Padres did something slimy, but Clayton Kershaw didn't. Nice try, scumbags. Danny Lehman filled in for Dave Roberts as manager last night. Roberts attended his son's graduation at Loyola Marymount University on Saturday. Rams coach Sean McVay returned to his alma mater, Miami University of Ohio, to unveil the statue the school made in his honor. Now, when you think of success on the field, nobody even bothers to consider Miami of Ohio, nor should they. But off the field of play, on the sidelines, Miami of Ohio is dominant. The Fighting Herpes Sores, or whatever their nickname is, they have players who become household names as coaches. Sean McVay, Eric Parsegian, the legendary Notre Dame coach, Paul Brown, Weeb Eubank, Bo Schembechler, John Harbaugh. As for McVay, I saw a photo of the statue, and to their credit, they nailed McVay's haircut. So kudos to them. Kudos. General Manager Les Snead said the Rams, quote, intentionally took a couple of steps back, unquote, this year on their YouTube channel, to which I say, we know. We know. Chargers cornerback J.C. Jackson, the big-ticket free agent signing who missed a big chunk of last year with a ruptured patellar tendon, said he expects to return to 110%, the statistical impossibility, I might add, and that the results are going to be big. GM Tom Telesco said he expects Jackson to be ready for training camp. And as for me, I expect to be ready for an airplane flight in about 2.5 hours. Such is life. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Let me know if it was more what Golden State didn't do or what the Lakers did. Let me know what you think Bronny James is going to mean for USC basketball. And if you enjoyed talking LA sports with me this morning, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Corte El Queso production. Take care.